What is up, wrestling fans? Welcome to a special episode of the Smark Out Moments Smack Talk podcast. This is a brand new segment we're going to be debuting, and I'll break it down in a minute. But before we get into the swing of things, let's introduce to you who's going to be on this episode. I am your host, as always, Tony Mango, and joining me on the panel, we've got Kaylin Ferris.
Idly ho, neighborino.
Angie Williams.
Hello, everyone.
And Callum Wiggins.
Yo, yo, yo.
So, if you have read the description or the title or checked out the thumbnail or anything like that, you can see that this is called Play the Game. And you know my love for puns and stuff. The only reason it's called Play the Game is because it's a game and because it's a good way to work in the Triple H good old phrase of it's all about the game and how you play it. That's too long of a title for me to go with. That was my original intention, but you can't fit that all inside the YouTube description stuff. So this is essentially a pro wrestling game night type of thing. Kind of a game show, kind of a mix of just a bunch of people playing like board game sort of things, whatever. All wrestling themed, and we've got 3 different games to showcase today. Maybe if we do another edition of this in the future, if you guys like it, and if it works well and stuff, then maybe we'll add some more games into the mix and whatever. But the philosophy I had behind this was I want to just try some new things on the show, and instead of just hyper analyzing everything and just talking about, you know, the same hot tags and the same pay-per-view coverage and stuff, we tend to have a lot of fun when we're doing bullshit and everything. So let's just kind of bullshit around a little bit. Why not? It's not going to get many hits, but I don't give a shit. So speaking of shits, we have the 3 games that we're going to be doing today: Blind Tag, Smark's Choice, and a version of Marry, Fuck, Kill, which goes by the Fanboys Anonymous segment of Wed, Bed, or Dead. Pretty simple. Wed is marry, fuck is bed, kill is dead. I think that you guys would get the point with that, but I will be breaking down exactly how these work in a little bit of detail here and there. Blind Tag is a word association game where I'll be just spitting out some kind of a question for people, and then we got to immediately answer with our first thoughts, kind of like what your psychologist would give you. Although we don't have ink blots either to kind of back that up. Maybe I'll try to do that in the future, just like the Rorschach game, and create something on MS Paint or whatever. Smark's Choice is a variation of the film or the book or whatever of Sophie's Choice, where you have to pick something that lives and something that dies. And the wrestling equivalency of that is there will be 2 wrestlers, and you have to pick which one of them gets erased from history and which one continues on with the rest of their whole legacy and everything like that. And Marry, Fuck, Kill is Marry, Fuck, Kill. I don't really need to explain that one. So the blind tags will be interspersed throughout, and we're going to kind of bounce back and forth between Smark's Choice and Marry, Fuck, Kill. So first things first, I want to ask a Smark's Choice. A good example of this, I think, to start off with, that everybody will have the same kind of answer, but, you know, let's start off with an easy one. Who survives, Shawn Michaels or Marty Jannetty?
That's a tough one. I'm gonna say Shawn Michaels survives and Marty Jannetty gets thrown in the meat grinder.
I think your cat protests a little bit.
Yep.
That's because she was trying to convince me not to say the same exact thing that he did, but I am going to still.
Callum, I'm assuming you're going with HBK as well, right?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Shawn Michaels, but I'll try and be a bit more analytical about it, because the one thing that I would lean me towards killing Shawn Michaels is that probably a lot of other wrestlers' careers would have gone a lot better. We would have had Vader as a world champion. There would have been probably less issues involving certain wrestlers being cut out of the company.
Yeah, but Marty Jannetty.
Marty Jannetty. HBK's been on some of the best matches in the company's history.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, but Marty Jannetty doesn't have like a life, so he might as well lose his. So.
Good point.
So obviously, some of these are going to be easier than others, depending on your point of view, because some people might have huge favorites. Like, I mean, Shawn Michaels is my favorite wrestler of all time, so you pair him up against almost anybody, and I'm going to go, I think I got to go HBK, but you know, you do with Shawn Michaels, Marty Jannetty, it's pretty simple. But also, some of these are going to be paired up in themes, kind of like that. But some of them I also put through a randomizer just for fun. I had a list of maybe like 20 or so names, and I just put them in a random thing, and then I put in order of how they came out. So let's go with another theme one right now. This one I think actually has a little bit of debate to it. Goldust or Cody Rhodes?
Oh.
That's tough for me, but you know what? As weird as it is, I think overall I'd have to go Goldust. I like Cody Rhodes a whole lot more, but Goldust has had more of an impact on the business.
I will agree. I actually like Goldust and have for a while, and just his character and what he has put into it. So I'd have to go with Goldust.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's more important for the history of the company. He's been more of an institution. I don't think Cody had as much of a I don't want to say cultural, well, the WWE cultural impact. No pun intended.
Yeah, without Goldust, there's kind of the Attitude Era doesn't have the same feel or impact. He's one of the forefathers of the Attitude Era. His gimmick was so out there. It was weird, but in a way that captivates you rather than draws you away from the product. Whereas Cody, I think, is definitely got a lot of potential, but the sign that he's out of WWE probably means that he wouldn't have had as much of a lasting impact on the wrestling business.
Mm-hmm. And like, I'm thinking about it also, in 20 years from now, who are you going to remember more?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
if Cody would have gotten some kind of world title reign and sort of been in the position as somebody like a Randy Orton, then I think there's more of an argument for him. But Goldust is the guy that really, he kind of helped kickstart that whole new generation Attitude Era type of shtick.
Yeah.
And this is looking at them
career too, so it's
it's looking at both of them right now. Cody still has at least another 10 years left in
right
wrestling. And he's currently the Ring of Honor World Champion. He's been fighting for the New Japan Pro Wrestling title. He'll be back in WWE eventually, and in all likelihood, based on what he's been doing on the independents, he'll be in the main event in WWE again.
I think it's safe to say that Goldust is more iconic, though.
Mm-hmm. And you got to remember, if this is people getting erased from history, that means we get no Cody Rhodes, Ted DiBiase, Randy Orton legacy. If Cody Rhodes gets erased,
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Then it becomes Manu, I guess. Ugh. Let's see here. Quick word association, blind tag coming out of nowhere. I'm gonna go.
No, it's not. You warned us.
I'm gonna go with Kaylin on this one.
Yeah.
So get yourself situated here.
Okay, let me stretch. Okay, there we go.
Best tag team ever.
Best tag team ever. I'm gonna have to go with Edge and Christian.
Ooh. See now, I wrote
I'm kind of split.
ahead of time for this.
I'm kind of split. I mean, Edge and Christian. That's the first one that came to my mind. I do like if you would have asked me 10 years ago, I probably would have said the Hardys because they're both in my top three. Yes, Kitty. But right now, I think Edge and Christian, made the most impact on me as far as the most enjoyable matches, best character, best mic work. As far as everything all combined, I got to go with ENC. It's such a shame, about Edge and stuff, but I think just given the career of their work, I got to go with them.
Yeah, I had written down my answers. I did another randomizer thing for this where I was just like, you know what, I'll put them. I wrote down a list of 20 things or so to ask about as far as questions were, and then I waited like 2-3 days, put them all in a randomizer thing, and then clicked on them one by one. And my first reaction for that one was actually Legion of Doom. Okay. And immediately afterward, I was like, but I like New Age Outlaws better. But Callum and Angie, what was your first thoughts with best tag team ever popping up out of nowhere?
Well, when I really started getting back into wrestling, in my early, around after high school, I enjoyed the Hardys the most, and is the one I remember enjoying and getting really excited about.
That was when Lita was still around with him, right?
Yes, and she was a big reason too.
What about you, Callum?
My one will probably be quite different to most people. Mine's the Revival.
Huh.
Okay.
I've never gravitated towards a tag team more than the Revival. I think they are the epitome of perfect tag team wrestling. They as a heel team, they work together so well. They seem like they're two people that couldn't work unless they were with the other. Like with the Hardys, you can see Matt and Jeff having good singles runs. Even with the Dudley Boys, Bubba Ray had a really good singles run in TNA and now in Ring of Honor. But the Revival just seem to be like made for each other, and it shows in everything they do in the ring. But before the Revival came along, I probably would have gone with Edge and Rey Mysterio.
Did not expect to hear that one. I figured
Aw.
Dudley Boys could
Yeah.
pop up. I figured Hardy Boys. Did not picture Edge and Rey Mysterio being one of the choices, but that's kind of
Edge-
what's fun about the quick reaction thing.
Yeah, I mean Edge and Rey Mysterio and Los Guerreros were the two big tag teams when I started watching wrestling, and I've always been a bit more of a fan of tag team wrestling than singles wrestling. So I gravitate towards the first people that kind of gave me a bit more of an impetus towards those things, and I've never I've never really gravitated towards either the Hardy Boys or the Dudley Boys.
I also liked Chris and Chris, Jericho and Benoit when they teamed up.
Yeah, see, I wasn't watching around that era, so for me, like Edge and Rey Mysterio and Benoit and Jericho, they're all just sort of lost in time, kind of like La Resistance. And
Yeah,
like,
not a
you
fan
know,
of them.
like any of the tag teams that were just in that little era, or like, I mean, obviously, like people forget about like B Square and John Cena and stuff, but there's entire wrestlers' careers that just don't exist to me. Like Sylvan,
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
nothing about him.
I don't either.
Yeah, that's going to be like different when we talk about these things further, because like that's at the height of my fandom. Those 2002 to 2004 is
Yeah.
when I was like as into wrestling as I've ever been.
Was Sylvan the one, or was it Rene Dupree that had the dog?
Rene
right?
Dupree.
I don't even
Yeah.
remember.
So Sylvain was in La Resistance for the longest time, and then he became a male model.
Yeah, I was
Okay,
watching
so-
at that time, but none of those guys really made too much of a lasting impression on me.
Yeah, it's like, are you gonna remember like Mark Henry, or are you gonna remember Nathan Jones? You know.
Yeah.
Oh, and I forgot to mention this ahead of time, but everybody listening, play along with us if you can. Drop your comments below. Leave, if it's a blind tag pops up, just type out your answer, then go like, fuck, why did I think of, I don't know, Ray Charles? He's not a wrestler, like that kind of thing. I don't know why Ray Charles just popped into my mind too. That's a
He's blind.
blind
He's
tag.
blind.
Oh god, maybe that's why. Oh, I'm a terrible person.
Aw.
Well, if I end up getting hit with a blind tag on my own, and I end up saying Stevie Wonder, then there's a problem. Which, by the way, if anybody wants to throw a blind tag to me throughout this, go ahead. I know that you guys didn't prep ahead of time for it, so I'm not gonna force you to or anything like that. But let's go with. Actually, I'm gonna give Callum a blind tag right now. This is gonna be a
Sure.
different type of thing. Fill in the
Okay.
blank. Say blank.
Say yes. Or say yeah. I was going to say yeah.
Yes.
Say
I said yes for summer. Yeah. I said yes
all
for
night.
Yeah. Was that just because to get the revival thing out
Yeah,
there?
that's just what. Let's bounce around to a wed, bed, or dead. This is the one that kind of inspired a little bit of this when we were asking about the poll of what should we do this week. Peyton threw out the suggestion, the marry, fuck, kill, 3 faces of Foley. You got Mankind, Dude Love, and Cactus Jack. One of them you gotta kill, one of them you gotta sleep with, one of them you gotta marry. I would go with, I gotta kill Cactus Jack and marry Dude Love. And fuck Mankind, I guess.
I would say, yeah, because I gotta say, yeah, kill Mankind, because I don't want to marry or fuck him. Although he would be interesting to hang out with. Not in that way, though. As far as, I don't know, I think Dude Love would probably get annoying, so I wouldn't want to marry him.
Well, that's
I'd
the
probably
thing is,
say-
all 3 of these options are terrible.
Oh, yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's completely
yeah.
terrible. I'd say marry Cactus Jack and fuck Dude Love and kill Mankind.
Or would you technically make love?
I'd kill Cactus Jack just because I don't want to deal with barbed wire in the bedroom.
Exactly.
Uh, I'd marry Mankind because at least he's funny, and he has and he has an inferiority complex as well, which means that we could probably I don't know where I'm going with that. Really,
no, good idea.
You're gonna bring
And,
back the dominance factor from the Sexy Superstars tournament.
Yeah, why not? And I would fuck Dude Love because he has dance moves.
You know what? I think I might have to change my answer to that one. I didn't factor this in, but Mankind was a funnier character for a little bit, and all you'd have to do is play that symphony, and he would calm down.
I know,
you, Angie?
My answer has changed so many times. I think I am going to kill Cactus Jack.
Okay.
Marry Mankind and fuck Dude Love.
Dude Love getting lots of love.
All the love.
Exactly.
Although Kaylin, I think you said you'd kill him.
No, I said fuck Dude Love.
Oh, fuck Dude Love. Oh, he's just getting all the fucks.
Yeah, it did.
Let's switch it up and do the welcoming committee.
Welcoming committee.
Carmella, Natalia, and Tamina. I would kill Tamina. Because I really don't want to fuck her and marry her. And then that becomes a thing of Carmella's annoying, but so is Natalia. And I think if I'm working with, because there's no rules to this, who gives a shit, you know? I would go with Carmella's personality behind the scenes doesn't seem anywhere close to her character.
That's what I'm saying. Are we going strictly on kayfabe?
I'm gonna go. Let's go for kayfabe.
If we're going
that's
kayfabe,
exactly what we did last time.
Yeah.
If we're going kayfabe, I have to marry Natalia and kill and fuck Carmella and kill Tamina. But if we go with personality behind the scenes mixed in too, then Natalia gets the fuck and Carmella gets the marriage.
Well, yeah, I gotta agree with the first one he said. Yeah, kill Tamina. Fuck Carmella because she's the hottest of the three.
Easily.
And Natalia, I would get along with her because she also likes cats a lot. So I would marry her. That one's easy for me.
I would kill Tamina because I don't want to end up like her father's girlfriend. I would fuck Natalia because I think she's quite boring and I'd just like to get like a one and done out of the way. And I think she's better looking than most people give credit for. And I would marry Carmella because she's going to be making the women's champion money soon.
Good way of thinking
That's true.
But I would have to kill Tamina, marrying this because she is not as annoying as Carmella, and I would just fuck Carmella because I find her very annoying, and I could not stand all of her clothes everywhere. I could not marry her.
And marry Natty with the cats being an edge too.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Let's see. Let's go with blind tag, and this one I'm gonna go with. Let's go with Angie on this one.
No.
What's the first word you think of when I say this wrestler's name? Dolph Ziggler.
I will say my honest word that popped into my head, but I did not want to say it out loud.
Say it.
Goofy.
Goofy? Why Goofy?
Because when I started really wrestling again, his pants or just like his little shorts, how they looked, what they said, I thought they were the stupidest things in the world, and I thought his character was idiotic and annoying. But I knew he could wrestle. He was a good wrestler. I just hated his gimmick and the clothes he wore because I thought they were goofy and stupid.
Funny enough, I thought hair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know, his hair stands out to me. Even though he's like one of my favorite wrestlers, and I think he's so underrated in certain ways and all that, it was just like scraggly hair. That's it.
Yeah, that too. I knew he could wrestle. I enjoyed his wrestling. It was just I had to sit through his coming out to the ring and opening and bear it.
And bar it.
Yeah.
Boom!
Just sitting there in my chair with my head down, waiting for it to be over.
So this is another Smark's choice. This one's
Boy.
more randomized one because I don't want to just do all the themed ones. Triple H or Andre the Giant?
Oh.
Oh, I will go first. Triple H, dead. No.
And keep Andre the Giant?
Yes.
Kill Triple H.
He was too much of an important part of my childhood.
I'd erase Andre.
Yeah, I'd have to say also Andre, because Triple H has had much more say in the company. Andre, how many years was Andre with the company? Not nearly as much as Triple H.
It was from like the late 60s, but he obviously bounced around the territories.
Yeah, he was more of a circus act for a while.
I was going to say he was like a feature. He was, I no insult, but a novelty act. And I don't think he was as important to where the company is today.
I don't think the company would exist and the popularity of the wrestling world would be what it is without him starting it in the 80s, keeping it going.
It's definitely an argument, and it's tough to kind of imagine like a world without Andre having been there, because then we don't get WrestleMania 3,
Mm-hmm.
and that's huge. I mean, just because it's Andre, but we also don't get. I'm not the biggest fan of the Princess Bride, but we don't get Andre the Giant in that role.
Oh, anybody
I know.
want a
See?
peanut?
See?
Yeah. That's true. I forgot about his outside the ring stuff.
No,
But then when you
Andre's
think
too
about
important.
You think about it though, Triple H, you don't get that. You don't get D-Generation X.
I can live without that.
You don't get.
You don't get the chaperone.
No
you
Evolution.
Don't get, Evolution. You don't get the Authority. You don't get the current guy who's running NXT.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's the thing. I want him running it because he seems to know what he's doing.
That's the thing that puts me over the edge.
In the business.
Mm-hmm.
I go more onto the sides of getting rid of Triple H, because I'm probably in the minority here, but I think he's done more harm to the wrestling business than he's done good.
It's another argument
so?
to make.
I think his career has been at least during the late 90s to early 2000s, has been a massive power trip, which ended.
Yeah,
Which
I
ended-
can see that.
Which ended a lot of wrestlers' promising careers. Maybe not ended, but at least damaged their careers in order to satiate his own ego.
Well, I got to agree with that respect. I like him a lot better now and in the last few years than I did, early 2000s. I was so sick of him. I was sick of him always being the main event guy. And I just, when he would get injured, I wasn't upset because I was like, oh, he'll be back eventually. They'll put him back in the main event right away. And I didn't miss him. Even when he like tore his quad and stuff, and it's like, okay, cool. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. Maybe I'll like him better when he comes back. And I did. Every time he came back, I liked him a little bit better.
See, it's that reason why I thought it was so easy I could kill him. Because that's when I was really thinking back to him as a wrestler.
If you would have asked me in 2009, I would have said there's more of an argument to keep Andre and kill Triple H, because he was pissing me off in 2009.
Right.
The whole, back and forth with Randy Orton and stuff, but he's been doing such a good job with NXT that I'm like, you know what? I don't dislike Triple H anymore. And we lose out on some big stuff with Andre, but I think Hulk Hogan, Roddy Piper, Randy Savage, they would have been able to kind of keep it going.
And plus, with as far as ego goes, because he does wrestle every WrestleMania still, but a lot of times, I'd say most of the time, I think he loses, doesn't he? He's just there to put over the younger talent. So he's looking forward to the future of the company, and I admire that.
And I was thinking about this with WrestleMania 3. Obviously, that's like the biggest thing that like is like wrestling. You know, everybody ties into the Hogan slamming Andre thing and all that. But WrestleMania 1 didn't have Andre the Giant in the main event. It was Mr. T and Hulk Hogan as really the two main factors for that, and WrestleMania 2 didn't have Andre in the main event, so you got to figure the first two WrestleManias went by and they were successes without necessarily having to be dealing with Andre.
Mm-hmm.
So WrestleMania 3, we would have had a totally different story, but who's to say it wouldn't have been maybe even better? You know, we could have had, I don't even know at that point, but Hogan against Perfect or something. maybe it could have been like, that's the match that everybody goes back in time and they go, oh man, nothing's going to be better than that Hogan and Perfect match. Like, possibility. I mean, you never know. It could have just been absolutely atrocious. And WCW could have won the war or something like that. But that's what's tough about Smark's choice. I almost called it Sophie's choice there. We need somebody named Sophie on this panel just so she can make a choice.
Nope.
Let's go with a blind tag. Why not? Callum, you haven't done a blind tag directly
Not
yet.
a proper one. Yeah, not a proper
other
one.
than the Say Yeah one. Best entrance theme.
Oh, what was the? I had one just went into my head. Nakamura. I've listened to that song on repeat, like for when it first came out. I was listening to it for about 2 days straight, just like constantly repeating it in my mind. There are so many like excellent entrance themes out there, but that one just it makes up for the fact that I think he's been a bit underwhelming on both from an in-ring standpoint and just in his presentation, especially since going onto the main roster. But when you hear that entrance theme, you just feel like something special is going to happen.
Yeah.
Bret Hart was the first one I thought of.
That's a great one.
That's a good one.
Kurt Angle was what I thought of.
My first thought was Stone Cold. Once that glass breaks, you just get that feeling like, oh shit, Stone Cold's coming to the ring. He means business. And it's just that hard rock driving. It really sets the mood for his presence. I love his theme.
I'm assuming you're going with the normal one and not the pumpkin party one, right?
Yes, that's right.
It's quite funny because I obviously had a few more themes going to my head afterwards, but one of the themes that crossed my mind, obviously, you mentioned Brett. I actually really liked Owen's theme.
Which one?
Da 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 da
Oh, the...
da da da. Yeah, I like that one.
I'm Owen Hart. Because I have a love-hate relationship with his caution tape one. That whole like kind of fucking annoying thing.
Oh yeah.
I like it, but I hate that I like it. And the saving grace for it is I have a mashup of that with Space Jam. So that is an amazing theme. Google that, everybody, if you want to listen to that. It's great. Let's go with another blind tag here. And this one, I'm going to actually leave this open for everybody to just shout their answers at the same time. Why not? Just try that out. Best manager.
Bobby
Heyman.
Heenan.
Yeah.
I
I
went
didn't get it out.
I went with Heyman.
Well, we were split. We were said Heyman and Heenan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I said
Jesus
Heenan. Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah.
So we need Bobby Heyman.
Well,
Bobby.
I thought Paul Heyman
Yeah, Paul Heyman.
and Paul Bear.
Paul Bear is good.
Just all the Pauls.
Bobby the Brain Heenan's also a very good answer. Yeah, I don't know.
He was my favorite, probably.
I gotta go with Paulie.
I think Paul's quite fresh in the mind. Paul Heyman's quite fresh in the
Yeah,
mind.
exactly.
He's like the only real manager at the moment that still has that kind of old school mentality about it. I think obviously Maurice has an argument for that as well, but Heyman has done it for so long that he's one of the best ever in that position. But I go with Heenan.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say I go with Heenan because he was like the biggest and most exuberant manager in an age where there were tons of big and exuberant managers.
He's
Heyman's
so good.
Yeah, I go with Heyman. Heyman stands out now probably more than ever because there's nobody like him.
Exactly. He's from, I don't want to say a relic because that makes him sound irrelevant, but he is one of the last of that type of mentality. He just has such a good mind for the business. He knows those key points to hit. If he wants to get the crowd to love him or hate him, he can play the crowd like a fiddle.
Oh, yeah. He knows what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you ask me to give my list of the best managers, I think those two are the top two, and I don't know which one I pick. Paul Heyman was the first one that popped in my mind, but I do kind of like Bobby Heenan more, and that's like, it's almost a toss-up. It's kind of like asking me who my number 3 favorite wrestler of all time is, because my number 1 is Shawn Michaels, my number 2 is Undertaker, and that's never changed. But number 3's gone back and forth between a lot of different people. It's been Mankind, it's been Bret Hart, Stone Cold, Edge for a little bit. Kind of goes around and around in circles. Chris Jericho was the number 3 at some point. So that's sort of like, you catch me on a Tuesday, I might say Heyman. You catch me on a Friday, I might say Heenan. You catch me when I'm sleep deprived on a Monday morning after a pay-per-view, I might start saying Jim Cornette. But let's go with, what do you think? We should go with Smark's choice or Wed Better Dead? What'd you guys pick?
Let's do another Wed Better Dead.
All right, this one will be The Shield.
Oh.
I gotta say, kill Dean Ambrose. Fuck Seth Rollins, marry Roman Reigns.
Oh, I could never do that. I'm killing Roman Reigns. I am marrying Seth Rollins and fucking Dean Ambrose.
God, I agree with Angie. Kill Roman Reigns, marry Seth Rollins, and fuck Dean Ambrose.
Just going on character?
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Marry Roman Reigns because he's the top dog, so he's making the most. I go with the money. I go where the money lies.
What happened to your dominance level, huh?
You don't care that he's an attempted murderer.
I mean, he was murdering a giant.
I can change
Don't you
him.
find that hot? Don't you find that hot that he beat up a giant, stuffed him in an ambulance? God, he rammed him so hard. Imagine that. Imagine that came in.
Nobody's picked Roman Reigns after he does the Superman punch thing.
I'd kill Dean Ambrose and fuck Seth Rollins. Because I've seen the cuck.
Why do you think I want to marry him? Why did I say that out loud?
That's the point. Say embarrassing things.
Yeah, but if you marry him, he's going to be showing that cock to every woman under the sun. Surely that's.
And I wouldn't mind. Look what I got, ladies.
That's a good point. Do you really trust Seth Rollins to be marriage material after he cheated on his fiance? Was it, or they weren't actually married, right? They were just engaged.
I don't remember.
Oh, I'll make him sign the right papers, or I'll get half of everything.
Half of his dick. Let's go with another Wed Better Dead.
Okay.
Let's go with the current women's champions. Naomi, Alexa Bliss, and Asuka. I would kill Asuka. No. That's tough. Damn.
Mm-hmm.
See, I didn't think about these ones ahead of time. I thought of the blind tag ones, but
I got mine. If you want,
got mine.
If you want some more breathing room, mine is kill Naomi. She's unbelievably overrated.
It's one of those two. I'm certainly not killing Alexa.
yeah. I think Naomi's incredibly overrated. She's terrible on the microphone, and she would annoy the crap out of me. So I'd kill her. Going by kayfabe, I'd fuck Alexa Bliss, and I'd wed Asuka.
I would. Can I go?
Go ahead.
All right. I would fuck Alexa Bliss. She's the hottest of the three. I would marry Naomi because she seems like the coolest of the three, the most easygoing, and there's no language barrier like there would be with Asuka. So I gotta kill her. Very attractive.
The same thing for you if
cool.
I'm going kayfabe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. If I was going to handle any of those three the longest in marriage, it would be Naomi.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. She's easily like the calmest, and even though like I don't think we would really get along because she'd be like, "Oh, like feel the glow," and I'd be like, "Shut the fuck up," stop saying this catchphrase. It's not gonna work. Alexa Bliss's character is a bitch, and Asuka's character is a bitch. So,
yeah, and I'm saying if while I was fucking Alexa Bliss, I'd slap her so goddamn hard in the face while I was doing it.
She probably likes it rough.
I would hope so.
I'm not too much into the rough stuff, but that sounds kind of fun. So. But if we're talking like personality outside of that and stuff, I mean, I'd probably have to marry Alexa and probably fuck Asuka and kill Naomi. I don't know. It sort of flips around a little bit. I don't really know Alexa Bliss's personality too much and Asuka's personality too much, and I don't hate Naomi's personality at all. She's basically the same character, kind of, but then you rule out the idea of Bliss and Asuka being as bitchy, so then they start moving up the roster, and Naomi's the one I find the least attractive out of the three, so she gets closer to the kill category of that, which sounds so superficial to be like, the ugliest one is always the kill option, like that kind of thing.
For this one, I wish we would have had Drew and Wago and Peyton on. I'd like to get their opinions.
I'm assuming Wago would have gone marry Asuka.
Oh yeah, of course. Well, marry or fuck. He wouldn't kill her. And I don't think he's ever been as into Alexa Bliss as some of the other people have.
He'd probably kill Alexa.
Tony, do you want a blind tag? I've been thinking of one. So first name that pops into your head. Worst commentator of all time.
David Otunga.
Yeah.
Booker T right now. Oh, I wish he was dead.
What's funny is the flashes I had in my mind when you said worst commentator. There was David Otunga. I had like him in like a circle above the others, and I had Todd Grisham, Mike Adamle, and Booker T like underneath them. Even though I like Booker T for how stupid he is, he still is awful.
Yeah, he just pops in at the most annoying, with the annoying comments at the most improper times. And
a lot of times it just doesn't make sense either.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but you know what? I'd much rather deal with him doing that and just sort of popping up, and it's like, say Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins, and they're just kind of like, so, Corey, what did you think about like the fact that they're former Shield mates? And then Booker will just interrupt and just be like, business. And you're just sort of like, okay, Booker. I'd rather that than when they have to like pitch a question to David Otunga just to get him to talk, and then he just goes like, yeah, two tough guys. You're like, awesome,
Booker T's random stuff like doesn't bug me as much as him trying to come up with a complete thought or working off of what the other guys have said, and he just fails horribly.
I love though when Michael Cole does something to piss him off. And you can tell that he's just sitting there like giving him the stink eye,
Yeah, and he's doing it on purpose too.
Now to switch this up a little bit, blind tag for anybody who wants to chime in. Best commentator.
Jim Ross.
Gorilla Monsoon.
Ross.
Yeah, Jim Ross.
This was in my my list of prepped questions, and I had thought Bobby Heenan before Jim Ross.
He is this immense on commentary. Like I went back and recently watched I think it was Royal Rumble '92. That was one that fled.
So good.
He is amazing. Like that is like peak Heenan on commentary. Just everything. I love the idea. I don't know why there aren't more heel commentators that have a vested interest in a superstar.
That's one of my go-to ones. If people ask me like, to kind of like give them a breakdown of wrestling or so, I'll be like, all right, for commentary, watch the '92 Royal Rumble, because he is so good with the Piper shtick, where it's just like he's helping out Ric Flair, and he's just kind of like, I don't know why everybody says that this is a skirt. It's clearly a kilt. And then Piper hits Flair, and he's like, it's a kilt. I mean, it's a skirt. It's a skirt. Heenan is great. But Jim Ross, I mean, you can't go wrong picking Jim Ross either.
His calls are just so iconic.
Yeah, I got to switch mine. I got to go with JR 1, but Gorilla Monsoon is way up there, probably 2.
Would you please?
I got one for you, Tony.
Another blind tag?
Yes.
All right, hit me.
Or anybody who wants to throw it out there. Best Money in the Bank cash in.
Dolph Ziggler.
Seth Rollins.
I was thinking Seth, but that was really the only one that I could think of immediately. I'll never forget that.
Seth Rollins was a great one, and that one's probably the most, even though it wasn't the most recent, the most fresh in my mind as being a huge one. I still have to think about Edge, the very first.
I think Edge and Rollins are, if I would have had another couple of seconds, I probably would have gone with them over Ziggler. Ziggler is the first one that pops in my mind just because it pisses me off that we didn't get that at the fucking WrestleMania that I was at. I was
See?
so mad about that, and then it's like, oh, that WrestleMania kind of sucks, and then turn on Monday Night Raw the next night, and it's like, oh, this is the best episode of Raw ever. Like, god damn it, we get to see one of my favorites cash in on one of my least favorites. Like, Edge is a
Best
great
thing-
choice though.
Yeah, it's the best thing Ziggler ever did. So I can see why that is in the forefront of your mind.
Yeah.
Right.
Piggybacking off of that, let's go with the Smark's choice. I had to put these two together. Speaking of themes, Alberto Del Rio and Sheamus.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
Alberto, 100% Alberto, especially with what's been coming out recently about his, like,
Mhm.
the fact that he's basically ruined Paige's career as well as his own. Because Paige could have had a decent WWE career. And I know she's tumultuous, and I know she's part of the problem in that relationship as well. But she could have contained those demons a little bit more.
Yeah, if she would have been dating somebody that could have controlled her a little bit instead of making her lash out more. And God, this is I don't know if you guys have been following this as much, but we got Paige having like some family member that was dying, like her uncle or something, and Del Rio basically said like, I hope he dies soon or something.
Oh.
And then Paige threw a drink at him, and then there's like rumors going around that Del Rio does coke like twice a day.
He seems
And-
like it.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
Oh, it's just this whole thing is just like, I mean, it's really a mess, and
Like reality TV gold.
it could be. I mean, if they wanted to cash in, but
Yeah.
if I have to pick between those two, I rag on both Del Rio and Sheamus a bunch, but I
Mhm.
gotta pick Sheamus sticks around and Del Rio gets erased from history. Just not even as far as like wrestling capacity, just as a human being, it seems.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. Sheamus is much more of a company guy. I think he's more more willing to do things that maybe he's not comfortable with, character-wise or match-wise, because he's a team player. Del Rio seems much more in business for himself. And I think his level of talent compared to his attitude doesn't match up.
Yeah, right now I agree with what both of you guys have said, especially considering what Sheamus is doing right now. I think it is great. I enjoy watching him on the tag team. So
Yeah, I like
I
Sheamus.
have to keep Sheamus.
Yeah, I like Sheamus a lot more now than I did, say, 5 years ago.
And I think he's always been a better wrestler than Del Rio.
Yeah.
I think despite Sheamus's blandness and the fact that he's been WWE and world champion far many more times than he ever should have, he has always been solid in the ring.
Mm-hmm. I find him boring more so than like some other people, especially for somebody who's been pushed so far. But he's never been on my list of people that I wish would be fired. I
yeah.
still just kind of wish that he would be a mid-carder and that's it. Like, or
Exactly.
just in a tag team. And when he's been in his tag team with Cesaro, I don't dislike Sheamus. So
No,
Yeah, I
I
agree.
enjoy it.
Del Rio, I've never liked him. Like, at the height of his powers, he was still just a piece of shit. It seemed like
He always seemed like a good asshole.
Yeah, he does.
He was
the
good
part
at it.
well. I'm gonna hit you guys with a blind tag here. I'm gonna hit everybody at the same time just to see if everybody has the same answer for this, because it'd be really funny if that's the case. But what's the first word you think of when I say the following person's name? I'm gonna give a couple seconds here just to kind of refresh ourselves or whatever. But Samoa Joe.
Fat.
Yeah. I thought of Chunky.
I knew that's what you were looking for, Tony.
It has to be, right? I mean,
I'm
he's got a theme
sorry.
song.
Yeah, well, because we came up with the parody theme song.
I didn't think that.
I had sung that one time when we were in the basement watching one of the pay-per-views, and ever since then, Dace has that in his head too.
Yeah, every time I hear it. Damn it.
Fucking Drew, one of the best outros he's done.
I must be the only one.
Joe is fat.
Is fat.
I must have been the only one that didn't think the word fat then, because for some reason I went the word destroyer first, so WWE have clearly like mind fucked me with that. And then I went, and then the second word I thought was TNA. I still associate Samoa, even though he's been doing so well in WWE, I still associate Samoa Joe more with TNA than WWE.
You are a good person.
Let's go with a Would Better Dead here. We did the current women's champions, so let's go with the current men's champions. Brock Lesnar, Jinder Mahal, and Bobby Roode.
Kill Jinder Mahal. Erase him from fucking history. He ruined the WWE Championship. Just fuck him. Fuck that Canadian asshole.
Well, then now you're picking him for the fuck, then.
Oh god,
I'd kill Brock Lesnar.
Oh yeah, that I've just realised that means I'm gonna have to either fuck or marry Brock Lesnar.
He has to go on one of those grenades, and I think I'd probably go with wed Bobby Roode and bed Jinder Mahal.
Yeah, I agree with you, Tony.
Yep,
Lesnar's got to go.
I despise Lesnar, person and character, and I could not stand to see those veins every day. But I could fuck him in the dark.
You don't want to see his veins every day, but you're fine marrying or fucking Jinder Mahal.
Right.
He's got like
in the dark.
Jinder Mahal doesn't have a big dick tattoo.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar must die.
Brock Lesnar to me seems like if any of these three would like beat their significant other, it would be Lesnar.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like I would not be surprised if we ever heard anything about Sable being like, oh, he was abusive.
That one's right.
He comes across as quite like just mellow outside of WWE. He just doesn't. I know he doesn't like people, but he just seems like the kind of guy who'll just sit on his porch and say, get the fuck off my land" type thing, rather than actually be abusive towards people.
Can you imagine old man Brock Lesnar like whittling?
Ready to pick that shotgun at the moment.
But he's whittling a dick logo.
In terms of these three, I'll stick to killing Jinder Mahal because I think it's just for the good of the company. And I'll go where the money is. I'll marry Brock Lesnar because he's the highest paid wrestler in WWE, so might as well. And then fuck Bobby Roode because he is objectively the best looking out of the three of them.
Now I'm starting to think you're becoming submissive.
I'm going where the money is. Listen, they can treat me as they want as long as they pay me right.
No, I don't know. I think you're
just
covering
buy
it
some
up.
fancy things. Oh, this was a tough Smarks choice. I remember when I wrote this one down, I was just like, I don't know what I would even pick. Ric Flair or Steve Austin?
Ooh. No.
That is a tough one.
Oh.
I think
one
I'd
of them
erase Stone
erased
Cold.
history. Really?
Yeah, because I think Ric Flair's too important for the building blocks of wrestling, and Stone Cold, he was the Attitude Era, but he wasn't there for all that long.
That is true.
But Steve Austin was the turning point.
Also The Rock, though. I think without Ric Flair, you don't have people like Shawn Michaels wanting to be wrestlers. And Austin, he was the guy, but we also had WCW at the time, and they were really popular with the NWO, and we had The Rock, and we still had Shawn Michaels a little bit, we still had Triple H. Ric Flair, I think, is too important.
Tony, I think I'm going to agree with you, just like I thought Andre, we needed to keep. He was a building block and part of the history of the team, of the company. So I think I'm going to have to keep Ric Flair.
I'm going to disagree. I'm going to say Steve Austin because I believe that without Steve Austin in the WWF, that they wouldn't have won the Monday Night Wars, or at least not so decisively.
I think you're right.
So I think the company wouldn't be the same today.
I'm going like partly the reason why I'm going to keep Ric Flair and get rid of Stone Cold is partly because Stone Cold helped WWE win the war. I think wrestling is, as a general concept, has regressed hugely since WWE has become the sole major company, the biggest fish in a pool of independent promotions. We need somebody that's pushing them and making them actually be creative and better on a consistent basis.
Yeah, a competitor of equality.
And like you say, Ric Flair's a foundation. He's a building block for so many wrestlers when wrestling was getting better and in its ascendancy. Whereas I think Stone Cold represents the peak of wrestling.
It's definitely a tough one.
Yeah.
There's no way to win if one of these
Oh,
gets
no.
erased. It's not like Flair and Bam Neely or something like
Yeah.
where it's like, didn't he already get erased from history? I'll toss a funny one out here. Mitch the Plant or Moppy?
Oh no!
Get rid of Mitch the Plant. I don't think he was that important. And
But
Moppy is Moppy.
Both
I
are
mean-
so sad if I saw one go, but I think I'll have to go with Moppy.
I'd get rid of Mitch the Plant. He never really had much staying power.
Yeah.
I think Moppy was just like I'll remember Moppy in 10 years' time. I won't remember Mitch the Plant.
Mm-hmm. Is Perry Saturn still alive? I hate to be callous, but
I think he's still hanging on.
okay.
I think he's had enough, like a lot of troubles.
Because I haven't heard anything about him in forever.
The last thing I had heard was I think that like people said that he went missing, and then he showed up and just was like, no, I didn't. And then it was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the last thing I remember hearing about him.
Let's do another piggyback one off of that one. Just kind of funny. This one might be a little bit tougher though. Francesca 2 Turbo or Francesca in general, they're all the same. Or the List of Jericho.
Oh, the list.
I have to
list
have
has
the
got to
list.
stay. The trombone. I thought Francesca, after about a month or two, I had kind of had enough of it.
Almost the trombone in the background.
And I like it. I like it that they still incorporate it. But after it was broken the first time, I thought, okay, good. Now they can move on to something else. And then they brought it back, and I'm like, oh, all right. Well, I guess yeah. The list is wonderful. So I got
jokes.
Got to get rid of Francesca.
I would
Yeah.
too. I think we're all going to keep the list.
Yeah, I completely agree. The list has never gotten stale for me.
No.
No, it's
Whereas
still.
Whereas I don't think the New Day need a trombone anymore.
Blind tag. I'm going to hit everybody on this one. Name a foreign object.
Steel
chair.
chair.
Ladder.
So Angie has ladder. Kaylin has steel chair. Or steps. What was the one that you had said, Kaylin?
I think we both said chair.
You both said chair?
Yep.
Yeah,
both
I
of you-
said chair.
Both of you guys said chair.
Yeah, it's just the
It's
the
the quintessential
stereotypical-
foreign
yeah.
object.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
go-to.
Ladder is like the number 2, and that would make a hell of a lot more sense than the one that I originally thought of.
What?
Jim Cornette's tennis racket. I don't know why that one came to my mind, but foreign object, I just immediately thought of like SummerSlam 96 or something, and just him carrying the tennis racket.
This is why this is funny. It's just weird stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
should have gone with like Rusev's flag. 'Cause that's about as foreign object as you can get.
Or Heyman's cell phone. I'd say to me, like ladders and chairs are kind of standard. There's even a pay-per-view now, TLC, but I am a fan of using the championship title. You know, when their back is turned, hit them with the belt.
Actually, the second foreign object I thought of were the steel stairs.
Yeah, that's
the
another
ring.
good one.
That was the second one that came to my mind.
You know what we haven't seen in a while? Somebody hit somebody with a bell.
Yeah.
Like a ring bell. That hasn't happened in like, God, I don't even remember the last one that, like Festus maybe?
No, it's happened since then. It's happened within the last 3 years.
Oh, I know it happened.
I'm trying to
But
remember
years.
who did it. Yeah, that's a good question. That's-
I picture somebody like a Randy Orton doing it. He seems like the type that would hit somebody with a ring bell.
Gosh, I can't remember who did it, but it was not that long ago.
Let's put another blind tag out there. This one's really general, so I'm curious to see what responses we get, but the biggest piece of shit in wrestling history.
The easy answer is Benoit.
I thought Russo.
That's I mean that's a little harsh.
I mean, you give me a debate and I have to go and do research and stuff. I'm not going to pick Vince Russo, but that was my gut reaction. Was just like, yeah, Vince Russo is kind of a piece of shit. Like,
Kevin Dunn's way up there too.
Benoit, I think, is like the right answer. If there's a right or a wrong answer.
I mean, except for that last day, I liked his career.
Yeah, I did too. I don't have an answer. You guys just totally broke my chain of thought. I don't know what to say.
I think I would probably go with it. Benoit would be one of the ones that would definitely stick out in my mind. There are quite a few because the wrestling industry is kind of filled with these people that are probably not as clean. I mean, you could probably go Jimmy Snuka.
That's another good one.
See, just based on our other conversation we had not too long ago, Del Rio crossed my mind.
Actually, there's one. The first one I actually thought of because I wasn't actually thinking of a name, but thinking of a person who I know did something. It's a guy who probably wouldn't have heard of called Buck Zumhoff.
Definitely haven't heard of him.
I've been listening to a podcast recently that was looking back into the AWA. Buck Zumhoff was a wrestler there, and he sexually abused his daughter for 20 years.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, that sounds like a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they brought up his name, and so they basically just listed off his list of offences, and I just went, yeah, this guy's a piece of shit. So, I mean, you probably just so that was the first guy because he's quite fresh in my mind, but probably Benoit is the right answer.
So I'm going to merge blind tag with Smark's choice on this one, just to see what our gut reaction is without thinking of it. And I'm going to let everybody chime in at the same time. So you got to pick immediately Sergeant Slaughter or Jake Roberts.
I want to keep Sergeant Slaughter.
Keep Jake Roberts.
I would keep Jake Roberts.
I would have gone with Roberts. Now, if we actually have to think about it, I probably would have. If you give me like the actual debate behind it, I think I'd probably erase Jake Roberts. Because Slaughter had like the G.I. Joe. Mm-hmm. He did have a good character for a while. He did do that whole Iraqi sympathizer thing, and Jake Roberts has had good feuds and stuff, but he's just another cog in the wheel, kind of, in my mind. So that's tough. I kind of have 50-50.
That is a tough one, yeah.
That was one of my ones where I randomized it, and I was just like, ooh, shit.
No, I gotta go with Sergeant Slaughter just because of my childhood and how much I enjoyed him. That was the whole just immediate answer. That is the reason why I gave that answer immediately.
I probably have like my blinkers on a little bit while thinking about which one would probably be best for the wrestling industry. But I was never a big fan of Sergeant Slaughter. Obviously not American, so I don't really buy into the big...
and I think I'm a little older than you too.
Only a little bit. But I'll just go with... obviously not American, never really bought into the big American patriotism thing. Jake Roberts' promos were always so impactful. When, like, looking back on them, like when going back in old pay-per-views, he's so intense, but in a quiet and calculated manner. Such a brilliant heel. He leaves more of an impression on me than Sergeant Slaughter. I probably know Sergeant Slaughter more for either the Iraqi sympathizer stuff or when he was the commissioner with D-Generation X.
Yeah.
I know him, G.I. Joe. He was part of G.I. Joe.
Yeah, I never liked that stuff.
And knowing is half the battle. Let's go with Wed Better Dead. The New Day. You got Kofi, Big E, and Xavier Woods. Who you marry, who do you fuck, who do you kill? I'm marrying Xavier Woods.
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree.
Yes,
I can play video games with him till the cows come home.
Didn't we do this one before?
On this edition already?
I don't know.
No,
we did.
Oh, okay.
Did we not do like, or not? Well,
like maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
the repackaged release type thing.
Oh yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, that's it. That's what I was thinking of.
But
as far as fuck or kill Kofi or Big E, I don't know. That's a tough one. Big E's got the moves, but
I think I would kill Kofi and fuck Biggie.
I think
sure, why not?
I'd agree. And
Yeah.
Kofi's older. He's already done everything that he's going to do. Big E probably still has a bit more potential about him.
Well, with Big E, am I giving or receiving? That's
I would be receiving, and I'm curious to see what he's
if everything is
possible
big.
of.
He's got the hip
Capable.
gyrations.
That's right.
Exactly.
And I don't know if you watched that episode of Talking Smack where he's just chewing on the microphone, but
Yeah, guys, if you ever experience that, tell me what it's like.
And if you're having sex with Kofi, be like the Rumble where you think he's just about to pull out. No, then he's back in.
Oh, that was good. That was good.
there's a little trouble in paradise. Do you guys want a tough Smarks choice or a random one that might not necessarily be as tough? Actually, you know what? They're both a little bit tough. I'm looking at two different options here. A themed one or a random one?
Themed.
I guess
Alright.
I have to go.
So this is themed and really, really tough. Trish Stratus or Lita?
Lita.
Leah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I'd go Trish.
No, I like Lita too much.
You know what? All right, that wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be then.
Oh, I was going for killing Leah.
Oh,
Getting
no.
rid of her. Getting rid of her from history.
Oh, I'd keep Trish is what I meant.
Yeah, that's what I'll keep Trish.
Oh, so it's 50-50 then. So Caitlin and Angie are keeping Lita, and Callum and I are killing Lita. Right?
Yeah, Trish for a bit was too much of a slut for me.
I think that might be one of the reasons why I like her.
Yeah, so
I'm not a guy.
we say like Lita was a slut. She was like fucked Edge behind Matt Hardy's back.
Yeah, that's true.
And
That's
CM
true.
Punk.
Exactly.
And well, she's kind of around.
Yeah, she got around the wrestlers quite a lot.
As far as wrestling style, I like Lita's style better. Trish is arguably made more of an impact on the company and will be remembered for that, sort of paving the way for today's women's revolution.
But
But
wrestling, Lita was a much more interesting competitive wrestler. But Trish was a good wrestler. But I like Lita's
I
style better.
like the time when they were basically at the top of the women's division. That was a interesting time. That was around when I was getting back into it
Mhm.
in the late 90s, early 2000s. And as far as when they each had to leave the company, it impacted me much more. I was much sadder when Lita got injured and couldn't wrestle anymore compared to when Trish was done.
If I was going like on Lita's favour, I'd say that she's better in the ring than out the two. That she mixed it up with the male wrestlers a lot more, which I've always been more of a fan of intergender wrestling. So I've always thought that was quite cool. And also, I think Trish has had a detrimental effect on the women's division in the fact that they started going after fitness models because she was so good. She excelled their expectations, and then they started hiring fitness models based on how well she did. And unfortunately, not all of them could beat Trish Stratus.
Yeah. I hate the turn. After they left, I hate where the women's wrestling and the women they were hiring went.
So we're gonna go with another blind tag here. I kind of like the idea of tossing it out to everybody. Let's go with the best big man.
Wow.
Ah,
I have to go with the first one that I thought of, and even though I thought Big Show.
First one that popped in my head is Andre the Giant. Maybe because we were just talking
for
about
some
him. but-
reason, the first one that popped into my head was Rusev. I don't know why, but he's not. He's not too horribly big compared to
Well, he's a
other
big
guys,
guy.
but he's a big guy. But Rusev popped into my head first.
Undertaker was mine.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had more time to think about it, I probably would go with either Undertaker or Kane. But Big Show, he's got big in his name, so that helps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think
Good
he's
thing nobody went with Big Cass.
or the big guy.
Oh God.
No, if I would have got to think about it, I would have said the Undertaker. But no, I
Mhm.
gave my honest You popped into my head first answer.
Yeah, when you said big guy, the first thing that popped in my head was Andre.
Let's go with best wrestler of all time.
Kurt Angle.
Good angle.
Why?
They
Oh
kinda
my!
chimed in with meow. That was
Like
great.
you guys got out the full name, but the A and of his last name came into mind. So like I almost got Angle out. I got out, but then you guys said it.
Anybody asks me that, it's always going to be Shawn Michaels for me.
That's what I was
Of course.
saying. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's no surprise whatsoever.
Shawn Michaels doesn't even. I mean, I do appreciate the fact that he was an awesome wrestler, but he's never been in my top 5 even.
Yeah, Shawn Michaels is up there for me. He's in my top 10, but I think Angle just surpasses anybody you stack him up against.
If I had more time to think, I'd still obviously choose Angle because he's always been my favorite wrestler. But names like Eddie Guerrero, Chris Jericho, and even Chris Benoit would probably cross my mind before Shawn Michaels would.
So I'm going to do one more Smark's choice and one more Would Better Dead, and then we're going to call this
Right.
quits because we could do this
Yeah.
for fucking ever. I have a
Like
whole
this.
bunch more.
Yeah.
things
Yeah, we
listed
should
in.
Save
some
some
of
for
these.
later.
Let's do this
Yeah,
Definitely.
save some for later. Try and get one of the other guys in here.
I'm gonna try to save. I have like some really bad Smark's choice that are like that Ric Flair Stone Cold one, but
Yeah.
Should we go with a theme or a random?
Random.
Yeah, let's go with a random one.
All right, a random one was Jerry Lawler or Batista.
Oh God.
Keep Batista.
I'd
No,
keep Lawler.
Yeah, I'd keep Lawler.
Yeah. I'm
Even though I think
there.
he's...
It took a lot of argument.
Yeah.
Wow.
I just
Oh,
well,
clearly
'cause
keep
I-
Batista. Nah, okay.
The first thing that popped in my head, and then I actually thought about it for half a second.
He's like he was such a big part of like Memphis wrestling, like making it big when there were independents that going on, like when the territories were still a big deal.
And even as annoying as he is sometimes, he was half of that iconic duo of JR and the King.
Yeah.
But don't get me wrong, he's like a lech and probably like quite a disgusting human being. But like in terms of wrestling, he did his job well enough. Although I would be upset that someone else would be playing Drac in Guardians of the Galaxy. I like Batista in that role.
I think this would be a good Wed Better Dead to be the last Wed Better Dead. The NWO: Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash.
Oh.
God.
I gotta think about this for a sec.
I'm going marry Kevin Nash, fuck Hulk Hogan, kill Scott Hall.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't be opposed to kill Hogan, fuck Scott Hall though. But I think marry Kevin Nash. I'm pretty sure that Callum's going to go the same thing too because he got to go where the money is, and he's always been really
yes.
good with his money.
I mean, they both... See, this is a difficult one for me because I want to kill all 3 of them.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to kill Nash. I know that I've been going along the money lines of things, but I think Kevin Nash is a manipulator. I mean, Hulk Hogan is as well, but Kevin Nash was kind of more like subversive in it, whereas Hulk was quite blatant about it. I'd marry Hulk Hogan because he's got huge merchandise deals.
And he just won that Gawker segment.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but, well,
Settlement.
Hulk Hogan has a 10-inch penis, but Terry Bollea doesn't. So
See, I would fuck Hogan just because I want to say that I did.
that's quite a good
I'm
reason.
pretty sure that he would let you if you ever.
Yeah,
propositioned him.
probably right now. Yes.
Now, if I say fuck Hogan, can I fuck any of the Hogans?
No, only Hulk or Nick.
Oh shit. I would probably agree. I think with what you said, Tony. Kevin Nash, I would marry, fuck Hogan, and kill Scott Hall because Kevin Nash to me, they're all assholes. But Kevin Nash seems to me like I don't know. It's really hard to weigh. He seems like maybe the least asshole, but that's hard to say.
Yeah.
Scott Hall is pretty easy though because he's definitely a piece of trash behind the scenes from everything I've heard.
one thing's for certain is that I wouldn't fuck Kevin Nash, because then you're putting in all the effort.
Oh, he's gonna tear a quad if he does.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
Aww.
So one last thing to kind of wrap us up here. One more blind tag.
Okay.
All right.
What's the first word you think of when I say this person's name? Miguel.
I just thought Leon. Just thought his surname. It's like, oh god, that's so great.
Okay, there is absolutely no relation to anything wrestling or anything. I don't know why, but the word orchard, it has nothing to do with anything. But that really is a word that popped into my head. I don't know why.
I have no idea why either. That's kind of strange, but that's what's kind of fun
Why
about
are you
that.
looking at me like that? You should have seen the look on his head. I was looking at a red object, I guess. There is one a few feet away from me, but other than that, no.
Keelan, what was yours?
The first thing I thought was Photoshop. Because some people on the crew here have made some interesting Photoshops with Mr. Miguel. And actually, my first thought should have been Brian.
Yeah, that's true. The first thing I thought of was, I want to talk about TNA.
I wish I could honestly have a better answer, but
Oh, I love the idea.
Yeah,
Of
that's
just
a good
Orchard
answer.
popping
Yeah.
up, like,
Orchard.
it had nothing to do with anything. I just
That's
I
the
know,
beauty.
it's kind of like that Seinfeld thing where it's like tuberculosis. Like, it's just like-
I don't know, guys. Orchard's got a shot.
All right, well, that's gonna wrap us up for round one, I guess you can call it, of
Yeah.
Play the Game. We're done playing the game. I don't know how to do a sign off when it comes to it. So,
well, you'll think of one.
yeah,
Game
eventually.
over.
Why not? Why did I not think of that? It's the most basic general one that works. Yeah, the game is over now. So let us know what you thought about this. If we should do this again in the future. What was your favorite game out of the bunch? Any other game ideas that aren't trivia? Because I'm not going to do all the research for that one. And what you thought about like the blind tags and stuff. Like, drop your comments below, and you don't have to timestamp it because I'm still not going to know what it is. Just kind of say like, oh, the first thing I thought of was for best big man was Ryback, or like that kind of thing. And weigh in on the other stuff too, the Smark's Choice and the Would Better Dead, because I'm kind of curious what everybody's answers are. But yeah, had some fun. I think I might be bringing this back again in the future,
I like
especially on a week where like
Yeah.
nothing's happening and it's like, well, what do we do?
Yeah.
Last thing to do is to just throw out some plugs. So Kaylin and Angie, tell us what's going on now, essentially.
Oh, I see what you did there.
NOW.
Speaking of now, you can check out Northwest Ohio Wrestling on Facebook. We have a bunch of events coming up in August. 3 different Saturdays. 3 of the 4 Saturdays in August, we're going to be running events. So check that out if you are in the Ohio, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Indiana, whatever, anywhere in that area. And got lots of fun stuff. So check that out.
Callum?
You can follow me on Twitter at Wigmeister14 and check out all of the weekly articles on Smark Out Moment, because they are written by dedicated writers that have a lot more talent than I do when I used to do them. I'm trying to big up other people because they're not here to do it themselves.
All right, everybody. From my side of things, obviously, keep checking out everything on smarkoutmoment.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at smarkoutmoment. Follow Fanboys Anonymous for the content that's going on there. I just posted the Emmy results for the nominees, so I don't really pay attention to that. But if you do, that's up on the website. And I don't know the next movie review I'm going to be doing, because there's a couple movies coming out that I kind of want to see, like Dunkirk, but do I really want to spend $15 to see that in theater? I don't really know. Same thing with Valerian. I don't know. But any movie-related stuff will be on Fanboys, and obviously if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, both there and on Smark Out Moment, you'll be able to get notified of whenever we have new videos if you just click that little bell icon thing. And I think next week our main event is going to be the Battleground predictions, if I'm remembering correctly. So stay tuned for all that stuff happening, and the hot tags, and one of the remaining few Ask Him segments that's going to be left on the channel, because I already thought of the questions, so I might as well do it. But that's it. So thanks for listening, everybody. This has been another Smark Out moment, and we're being counted out.